I thank everybody here for coming out to salute me. You know, one of those creatures on earth, you know, struggling and trying and black and growing up in Harlem.
That Miss Ruby Dee gave of herself. We were trying to get some money. We had an opportunity to go to CBS Foundation. And I was scared. I have to admit I was scared. It was back in the late 70s, and so I asked Ruby Dee if she would go with us, and she said, sure. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? We went walking in there, and I felt so good, because I knew I had the power then. And we made a presentation, and it was wonderful. And it was that CBS Foundation money that put the stamp, the artistic stamp on the Billie Holiday Theater, because we got to do 6 plays over a 2-year period of time. And I tell you, it makes me want to shiver and shout. It was amazing. Thank you. It's just one of the reasons why we love you, because you just give of yourself immeasurably. God bless you for that. And we thank you.
But you know, she sat me at the table between Dr. Josephine English and Miss Ruby Dee, and at the same table with Sister Sonia Sanchez, and I said, oh my God. And I looked over there at Miss Jackson. I said, whoa, boy, I'm at a table of powerful, powerful sisters who are really part of a long struggle.
I'm glad I waited for love. I'm glad I waited for love. I'm glad I waited for love to call my name.
We love you because every time you step on the stage or on the big screen, you bring us everything. You leave no stone unturned. Every fiber in your body comes alive with the characterizations. And as the audience, we realize that, we see that, we feel that. You bring us life. And in that, a certain kind of spirituality that is tremendously exciting and rewarding. That's what you do as an artist, time and time again. No, that's fine.
Oh my goodness. I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the Brooklyn Coalition of the Theaters of Color. We started out with the theaters of community theaters, but we still live in an America that says we must say theaters of color, and in a sense it's all right. That's all right, because when I think of us, when I think of myself, when I think of where we come through, and that goes back to my mother and her love for her teacher, William Edward Burghardt Du Bois. When I think of growing up in Harlem, when I think of the American Negro Theater and the basement there, when I think of people like Woodie King and Sonia Sanchez, when I think of my friend Jackson, Esther, when I think of those people from the Amsterdam News who gave me a chance to have a column and that little magazine called The Tattler, and I think of Jim Jackson, and I think of all those people that most of you, a lot of you don't even know or even heard of, and I think of all those people that I came through, and I think of being here today for the Brooklyn section of the Billie Holiday Theater, and I feel that, oh, how lucky I am to be one of the steps on this ladder. because that's what we are on this climb to the to the next generation of the magic creations that we as human beings are. How astonishing as creations each of us is. And so I stand here, not with an "aw shucks," but oh my God, look who I am. Look where I come from. Do you understand me, what I'm saying? And how we are moving forward, and how we are growing, and how not only as black people, but as human beings on this planet, on this little zero we call the earth, you know, and how much we have to teach, how much we have to share, and how much we have to hug each other and reassure ourselves that, oh my God, what an experiment, and we're each on the verge of helping the great creator realize that incredible dream that is still being formed, that divine dream of humanity. So, you know, I feel good. I can't say, "Oh, shucks." All I can say is thank you, God, for letting me do my little part. Yes, indeed. And so I thank each and every one of you and my old friends. I think about Jim Jackson. I think about Ossie, God knows, and because he's here with me. And I think about my daughter, my oldest daughter, Nora, who when we were going to be 50 years married, she said, "Well, what are you and Daddy going to do on your 50th? Well, how are you going to celebrate?" I said, "Well, we were going to take a vacation or something." She said, well, why don't you write a book?" And so that's how that all came about. It's caused from the mouths of babes, you know, and everything. And so that's why we started writing the book. And and it was like a honeymoon, because we had to go to a hotel just to find the solitude and to get ourselves together, and so that had its ramifications and its joys too. But anyway, I'm here now, and with one of and I feel the crown on my head, and I want to thank you all. You know, I thank everybody here for coming out to salute me, you know, one of those creatures on earth, you know, struggling and trying and black and growing up in Harlem, and one of those great people, one of those great creatures that calls oneself a human being. You know, and so like many, perhaps most of the people in this room, my career in the arts would not have been possible without the community theater. It's where I got my start as an actor in the little basement theater of the 135th Street Library. And it's also where, years later, I found my voice as a writer. And that was also true for Ossie. He left Howard University a year early so that he could learn his craft in another basement theater of the library on 124th Street called the Rose McClendon Players. And there was a sister who came up from the days of Roosevelt and bread lines and all that kind of thing that I remember, because I think I came out the womb walking and nosy. And so I remember all that, bread lines and that kind of thing, what my mother did and how she progressed as somebody who was lucky with the numbers and lucky with the horses, and and also because you couldn't borrow any money from the banks, but she knew how to get around that. And she took care of other people's children. And she brought her friends up from the South, and she worked in places, my stepmother this is, and she taught me what a human being is all about. And I never understood that word stepmother, you know, it made me realize that when we care for each other, all those people who looked out the windows and watched us go into the store were our mothers and our fathers. And that's what we are today, too. We are the community folks. That's what we are here. And that's where we're going. We're walking with the community, and that's why we're going to make progress and make our species proud. I'm going to read these words my daughter wrote for me. And that was also true for Ossie. He left Howard University a year or so early so that he could learn his craft in another basement theater. You know, I told you that. That library on 124th Street. I think of those people like Abram Hill and so many. And though we met on Broadway, Ossie and I recognized that our life together was in so many ways a product of community theater. And so when it came time to celebrate our 50th anniversary, I told you all that, we could think of no greater gift for ourselves than to give back to some of those theaters, striving to carry on in the tradition of the American Negro Theater and the Rose McClendon Players and the Fredville Theater too. 13 years later, it is so gratifying to see how far this coalition has come. And while I'm pleased to accept this award, I'm pleased to accept this award. I'm pleased to accept this award as much as I've been pleased to accept any award, and maybe more, because something that comes from home, a home-cooked meal, is always a different kind of meal. And while I'm pleased to accept this award, I want you to know it is your continued success, our continued success that truly honors me, that truly honors all of us. And I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad I waited for love. I'm glad I waited for love. I'm glad I waited for love to come. My name, I waited for love, yeah. I waited for love, yeah. I'm glad I waited for love to call my name. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Howie Rock, Mr. Chulo Gatewood, Franklin Stick Bone Brown. Thank you. Ebony Joanne, a Billie Holiday theater baby.
Thank you, Ebony Joanne.